I want to tell you about a new lawsuit, a new Standing Rock lawsuit that I don't believe has been covered anywhere. I think it's super important. I'm trying to get Standing Rock back in the news. I'm trying to get this issue, not only Standing Rock, but the environmental fight, the fight for native rights. I think it's an important issue. I tried to cover it while I was at the Young Turks, even after the demonstration camps. I did some videos last week on the latest. On Friday, the chairman of the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe sent a 300-page report to the Army Corps of Engineers outlining all the reasons why when it spills, isn't clean water a right? Yes, it is. When it spills under the Missouri River, dangerous to the Standing Rock Sioux people and the 20 billion people downstream. So those videos are up. But if you remember back during the No DAPO movement, November 20th, 2016, was one of the most grisly evenings there. It was an altercation on the Backwater Bridge, which was right in front of Oceti-Sakowin camp. And, basically the Morton County Sheriff, there were, we later learned, federal officials there too, hosed down with freezing water, Native Americans, environmental water protectors. They shot tear gas, they pepper sprayed, they maced. One man got shot with a rubber bullet point blank right in his forehead. Half his scalp got ripped off. And there was a young, at the time, I believe she was a 21-year-old woman named Sophia Wolansky, who had a grenade fired at her. The Morton County Sheriff, of course, pretended that it was a grenade fired by the water protectors, which accidentally exploded on this poor young woman. She almost had to get her arm amputated. Now she has basically an arm made up of other parts of her body. She's had more than 10 surgeries, I believe. But kind of lost in that, there was a Native American woman by the name of Vanessa Dundon. I might be mispronouncing her last name, but Vanessa Dundon, who had a tear gas canister fired within point-blank range of her. And as a result, she basically lost, at the original time, she lost her entire eyesight in her left eye. I have seen her and many times since then, and, she got a little tiny bit of her vision back, but not full vision. It has led to headaches and migraines and other health issues. And she is a Native American woman. It has forever, I don't want to say ruined her life. I don't want to speak for her, but it has really tainted her life. And she has still remained active. She has gone to water protector camps around the country. And she has now filed a lawsuit against the Kyle Kirchmeier, who is the sheriff of Morton County, who was basically the top dog that commissioned all this terrorism, fascist terrorism, by the Morton County Sheriff on American citizens exercising their First Amendment right. So Vanessa Dundon and other plaintiffs filed a lawsuit against Kyle Kirchmeier, Morton County Sheriff, and Jason Ziegler, who's the chief of the Mandan Police. I'm going to read you a little bit about it because I think it's important. Obviously, Sophia Wolansky, the 21-year-old white woman who had her arm nearly blown off. There was a New York Times piece about her. They fucked it up, of course. I thought I could go a whole video without cursing. Darn it. And her story, Vanessa's story, I think kind of got lost. And of course, losing your eye is not a small thing. And police firing grenades at unarmed people should not be normalized. That's what you call a war crime. That's a war crime that the police perpetrated against this poor woman and others like her. So, I'm going to read you a little bit about it. It's a 43-page lawsuit, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll read a little bit. I'll also put it in the description box. This is a civil rights class action for damages, injunctive, and declaratory relief arising from defendants' curtailment of plaintiffs' First and Fourth Amendment rights by their indiscriminate use of highly dangerous specialty impact munitions, SIM, explosive tear gas grenades, tear gas canisters, and high-pressure fire hoses and or water cannon against persons engaged in protests and prayer ceremonies associated with opposition to the Dakota Access Pipeline. Plaintiffs are Native Americans and other concerned citizens known as water protectors who have protested and wish to continue protesting against DAPL as well as in opposition to other actions that endanger the environment and desecrate sacred lands. On November 20th, 2016, the plaintiffs gathered along with a number of others to pray and to peacefully protest the continued construction of Dakota Access Pipeline and the ongoing blockage through traffic of Public Highway 1806 by the state of North Dakota's closing of portions of Public Highways 1806 south of Mandan, which resulted in reduced vehicular access to Standing Rock Reservation. At Backwater Bridge, a bridge on Highway 1806, just north of where many of the water protectors were camped, plaintiffs engaged in peaceful First Amendment protected activities in a lawful public forum area on or near the bridge that was open and available to pedestrians assembly. Plaintiffs did not cross into the area north of the bridge that was marked and separated by a police barricade and closed to entry and assemble. The area in which plaintiffs assembled was not stripped of its public forum character, and even were defendants to have had a lawful basis to exclude persons from this public space, they did not adequately or sufficiently communicate that the public forum was closed to pedestrian assembly or otherwise issue an order to plaintiffs to disperse. Defendants assembled on the north side of the bridge behind a police-constructed barricade. This assembly included a joint force of officers from the Morton County Sheriff's Department, City of Mandan Police Department, Stutsman County Sheriff's Department, and Doe unknown local law enforcement agencies subject discovery. Defendants brought armored vehicles and were armed with an arsenal of dangerous implements and devices, including SIM, explosive tear gas, grenades, other chemical devices, and a water cannon and or fire hoses, which were not mounted on an armored vehicle. I'll keep reading in a minute, but by the way, the sheriff, who is the lead defendant, Kyle Kirkmeyer, has gone around the country speaking to other police departments almost as a celebratory. We praise this big oil goon who works in protection of the oil companies, and Kirkmeyer has basically given training to other police departments, including in Nebraska, as demonstrators and water protectors gear up to protest the Keystone Pipeline, version 2. So other police departments have been stockpiling with this kind of equipment. Grenades, tear gas, rubber bullets, and all that. The defendants did not give orders to disperse or warnings before the defendants indiscriminately used these weapons to inflict excessive force on the plaintiffs and other peaceful, unarmed water protectors, all of whom were on the south side of the police barricade. On this night, over 200 water protectors, including plaintiffs, were injured by indiscriminate and excessive public police force, causing some of the plaintiffs to suffer life-altering issues. This was not the first or the last time defendants attacked water protectors who were praying and peacefully exercising. So I'm going to move along a little bit. Plaintiffs support the peaceful protests by the water protectors and the people of Oceti-Sakowin, the 7 council fires of Great Sioux Nation, in opposition to the construction and operation of DAPL, which is desecrating their ancestral land and burial sites and threatening the environment and water. Each of the plaintiffs came to Standing Rock to support the peaceful protest by the water protectors and the people of Oceti-Sakowin. So as you can see, obviously there's a lot of lawsuits filed against water protectors, much less in terms of lawsuits filed by water protectors. And I think you're going to start seeing this more. I contacted Vanessa. I'm waiting to hear back from her. So I know in terms of have they responded, the Morton County Sheriff or the other defendants. So I will update you with that. But I think this is super important, not only because this is a Native American woman, and obviously I think we need to cover and support Native Americans who are the original sin of the United States, what we did to them and continue to do to them. But I think there's a problem, and I've said this many times. Let's stop talking about, oh, we can't normalize Trump. Well, what about all the destructive things that are being normalized before Trump? Like police blinding American citizens unarmed who are peacefully protesting, or shooting grenades where it nearly rips off a woman's arm, or 200 unarmed citizens getting hypothermia because in 26-degree weather in the Great Plains in November, hella cold, they got freezing water fired at them. Why is that normalized? Why is it normalized that private contractors, aka Blackwater 2, Tiger Swan, are working with the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, the U.S. Marshals to surveil Native American and environmental water protector camps, to infiltrate, sending in FBI agents to pose as someone else to befriend or romance demonstrators? Why is the federal government working with private contractors against peaceful citizens? Why? Because the federal government works for the oil companies. This is the United States of Oil, also known as the United Corporations of America. They're not there to protect the people. They're there to profit off of the people. And this should not be normalized. Vanessa's lawsuit, it ain't sexy. You're not going to see it on CNN. CNN's on in front of me. I'm talking about this lawsuit. There's breaking news. Porn star offers to return $130,000 so she could talk about alleged affair with Trump. We are living in the TMZ-ification of humanity. The TMZ-ification of humanity. A woman, a native woman, half blind, can't see out of one eye. Big oil, running amok. Flint, poisoned nearly 4 years later. Kardashianization, that too. My ex made me watch the Kardashians with her. I hated it. But I do like the Golden Girls, I cannot lie. Classic. Trump, must discuss Trump. Ain't it pathetic? Don't get me wrong. I mean, I started this live stream almost an hour ago on Trump. I don't do it a lot because I don't want to regurgitate what everyone else is saying, but I thought it was important to point out what he's doing or not doing with guns. But it's really mind-boggling to me how these things are just allowed, just normalized. And by the way, don't think it ain't coming for you because, yeah, Native Americans, black folk get treated the worst. But if you're a poor white person, they don't care. The police, they'll fire a grenade in your face, blow out your eye. They'll shoot a grenade, blow off your arm. They'll privatize pipelines. Hell, they'll dig a pipeline right under your kid's kindergarten. They don't care. Come on. You got Alabama pushing the 10 Commandments to be displayed in school. What kind of insanity is this? Why is this not on television? Who gives a shit how many people Trump has screwed or if he paid off a porn star?